Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Jess and today's reading will be about what wound or wounds are itching or hurting and what do you need to know about those wounds. So there are three groups for you guys to choose from. Group 1 with selenite, group 2 with the pink amethyst, and group 3 with the yellow calcite. If you need a moment to find out which group or crystal you feel drawn to, which can sometimes be more than one, you can pause the video or wait for the meditation moment. The timestamps are in the description box down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. So let's get started with what wounds, wound or wounds do you have, and maybe also find out where have they come from. I don't know how long this reading is going to take, or the readings, but I hope this will not be too long, but we'll see. I'm also apologizing if you hear like sounds in the background. The day that I'm filming, it's like warm outside and inside, and I can't handle heat very well, so that's why I need to have this air conditioner on. Right, okay. So what wound or wounds do you have? Allies. Beautiful card. It's also a new deck that I got, but I didn't use yet. Not that that will be important, because any deck that I use in the video is in the description box down below. Okay, so what wounds do you have? I do feel like you have some kind of issue right now where you feel like you did not really explain yourself very well, or you did not really come through the best way, or you feel like you said something and it was thought of, whatever was what you said felt like a miscommunication. Like it's almost like you're trying to say something but you just don't know how to say it, but that's not necessarily the topic. That doesn't need to be like the main topic here, but it could be that I mean, it's not coming up for just for no reason. So it could be that a certain wound that you do have, I mean, we will find out if there's anything more here, but, and I just saw 2:22 on the timing of this video. It could be that you feel like something is not right, something is not said, like you feel like you have a burden of not being able to say something, or feeling like you hurt someone with what you did or said. Anyway, let's continue. What wound or wounds do you have? What wound or wounds does group 1 have? I really dislike it because it's not what I planned, but I guess we're just gonna take 2 cards. We have change and we have opening. I need to be a little more flexible. Okay. It seems that you are holding on to that kind of burden of not being able to, of you not having been able to say something or say something in the right way. I feel like whatever you did said was miscommunicated, and that is how something turned out to not really go. Well, maybe you're also not really as flexible, just like me, because maybe you're just not really open to things to change. I'm not going to get to conclusions yet, but it could be that the reason why this needed to get out, and I feel, you know, the thing is, I feel like you did say what needed to be said, and you may feel as if you hurt someone with what you said or what you did, whoever this person is, or people, because it does not necessarily have to be one specific person. Or it could be multiple people, like you said things to this person, you said things to this person. Whatever the case is, I feel like you're really not letting yourself accept that you also have a voice, that you also need to be heard, and that you also are able to choose what is right for you and what is wrong. It could be that it could also be that you saw something, but it was actually, or heard something from somebody, but it was actually a miscommunication, was actually not what you thought it was, and you said something that hurt somebody, possibly. I'm not saying that this is literally your situation, just take whatever resonates, and maybe the rest will come in the later. Funny how it is that when I try to explain why I say something, that I forget what I was wanting to say. Maybe I should stop trying to explain something so profoundly. Anyway, I feel like yeah, I feel like you were being yourself, and not like saying that what you regret is being yourself, more like you let something build up for so long that you didn't really know how else to say it anymore, instead of doing it this way. And it could be because you didn't let yourself speak the truth. It could be because you were pressured by your friends or your family or any person around you, teachers, loved ones, strangers. And I kind of forgot what I was wanting to say, but anyway, I feel like there was definitely some kind of miscommunication about who you were, pressuring from other people, from society, if you will, and I feel like you are very much still regretting, sorry, how things turned out. I feel like because you were being honest for the first time, you regret how it came out. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't or that you should. I'm just saying this is the way it is. I mean, if you're obviously looking at this reading and there must be some kind of truth in it. Otherwise, that's just, another group. Or whatever. Okay. That's me when I'm struggling, all right? So I feel like you were not able to know something until you knew it. Although you're blaming yourself for not knowing it, or blaming yourself for being stupid, or for being silly, or for being weird, for being yourself, mostly. And that may be a wound that you have. So let's see if there's anything else. You may feel like things are not related to what has happened before to you, but I feel like it actually is related to what has happened before, because that has made you so possibly insecure, or so tense, made you feel so tense, struggling with what you were experiencing, some kind of pressure, some kind of feeling like you don't belong, some kind of feeling or burden that you were carrying. Like, yes, we do have our responsibility to take control over what we, how we communicate with other people, but it's not something, like, you are not the devil for feeling struggles, for feeling troubling emotions. You are not a bad person because you feel what you feel. I'm just saying, maybe people are telling you to just forget about it, or to just move on, or that everything is fine. But the thing is, I feel like people may have forgiven you, but you have not forgiven yourself yet. I feel like you are still resenting the past, blaming yourself for things that you could not handle on your own. And that is possibly, especially when you were a youngster, like a child, you are a child. You do not know these things. That's why people around you need to teach you, need to help you learn how to not to be perfect, but how to, I'm struggling with finding the right answer, or right words for this. They are there to teach you, or to help you grow into a person who you can be proud of, instead of focusing on the things and thinking that you are all to blame. They are the ones who have responsibility over you, for the ones who experience certain wounds or things during their childhood. So it is connected. Whatever you feel is not connected, it actually is, even if you do not understand it right now. And you, like, it is not it's normal, you know. It's actually is normal to feel what you have been feeling, like, especially under your circumstances. Like, who is to blame for this? Like, honestly, what do you know? I am not trying to put the blame on everyone else. I mean, you are obviously carrying your own responsibility, how to react to certain situations, but I'm not, you know, there is a reason for why you behave this way. And I feel like you are holding up so much regret and pain toward yourself about how you expressed yourself. I am not going to be like, I don't know how to be able to explain to you that you don't need to carry this weight anymore, because this is not something that someone can say to you and then everything will be fine. You know, like, we need to heal within ourselves. We need to find it out ourselves, to be able to accept it. So that's why it's a little bit hard for me to say, like, you know, you shouldn't worry or whatever, because that's only temporary. Or I don't know, like, it's gonna only be like a distraction to say something to make you feel better. But if you are able to understand yourself better and accept that things have just happened the way they did, and that doesn't make you literally the devil, or a bad person. I feel if you're gonna figure that out, if you're gonna find out what it is that you need to know, then you're gonna be a lot more accepting of yourself. But let's see what else. We have the Chariot. So, okay. These cards are a lot. Okay, so I need to think about the next question because I'm a little bit confused with the next question. Okay, what wound or wounds do you have? Or where have they come from? I feel like you're the kind of person who was more, or was more of a rebel back then, who was more of someone who listened to what they used to say, listen to what they used to say, who didn't really care much about the impact of what you had on other people. And I'm not saying this because to say that you're selfish, because you are not. The thing is that you were following what felt right to you and what you wanted to do, and this has hurt other people. It can. It certainly depends on the situation, whether it is something that you should keep pursuing or not. But I do feel like if people are making you feel bad for what you are longing or desiring in your life, what you want to experience, even though they are not agreeing with it, yeah, sorry, but I feel like you gotta ask yourself why they chose to have you, if not for yourself, if you are only there to be their puppet, or whether you actually are born because they want their child to live a free life, to do whatever they want to do. You got to ask yourself where their intentions are lying, because you need to find out what is more important to you. Are you more important to yourself, or are other people more important to you? I'm not gonna ask that, I'm not trying to get an answer with that, but you gotta ask yourself, what is more important? What is gonna make you happy as a person, and not by following other people's expectations and desires, because it is a human's right to live the way they want to live. Whether other people agree with that or not, that is their problem. You should not deal with their problems. You should deal with your own problems, and not make other people's problems your own. Anyway. Okay. What other wounds do you have? What wound or wounds do you have? Intention. What you aim to. That's amazing, because we got a Chariot right here. And it's also about intention and forward movement. What you aim to achieve, what you seek to manifest in life, and what you commit to carrying out in the future. Okay. What wounds do you have? So this is pretty much confirming what I was just saying, so I don't really need to explain that one anymore. What wound or wounds do you have? What wound or wounds does everyone have? Where have they come from? I feel the wound comes from a deep desire to be with someone or to have someone by your side, but have them turn out to be someone who I need to think about that because, okay. Heal, to mend, to tend your wounds, to relieve pain, to attend to wellness and health. Expansion. I feel like whoever this person was that was so important to you, they were very much, very important to you, and I'm kind of in between. I don't know whether they were actually the person who made you this humiliated and ashamed of yourself, or whether they were actually the person who helped you figure out, or who is actually a representation of who you can be as well. And I'm not saying you should be another person, but I'm thinking that I feel that you may have seen this person, or you may have thought that they saw you or wanted to tell you to control yourself, to behave yourself, to be that kind of person. But I don't really feel like that is actually the case. I feel like what you were... I'm a little overwhelmed right now by all this information. 1 second. I know it wasn't 1 second, but still. Anyway, I feel like you're going in a direction of who you did not want to be and who you do not want to be, because you are ashamed of something that you said. You read something, and because of that you feel like you are a terrible person. Because of that you feel like you are not worthy to live a free life, because you feel like if you do that, you will hurt other people's feelings much more. And I feel like this is not really the case. I feel that what you need to know is that this person never intended to make you feel as if you cannot live your life the way you want it or want to. Just because you had a plan doesn't mean that you cannot carry out this plan with yourself, or maybe with another person. I don't know who this person is. It could be someone you were interested in romantically. It could be family. It could be a friend. It could be anyone. But they never tried to make you feel as if you are not able to say what you wanted to say. I feel like this reading is supposed to make you understand that you are not being held back, that even if you perceive people to force you to do things or to be someone you aren't, maybe you are focusing too much on other people right now, and you are not even asking yourself what you actually want. Anyway, what else do you need to know about these wounds? Maybe this person rejected you or left you and made you feel as if whatever they said was actually a lie or something like that. But the reason for leaving you or whatever, like anything, was not because you were free. It was because they had their own things. Because it could even be someone who is not really someone you actually want to be with, or that anyone would want as a friend, partner, parent, anyone. I'm not saying this like for everyone here, but maybe this person isn't someone you look up to. Maybe this person is actually someone who you do not like, let's just say that. And because you are maybe also wanting freedom and wanting to just explore and do things. Maybe you feel like this person explored and did things and did actually some bad things. So maybe you are afraid that you will go the same road, down the same road as them. These are all possible scenarios. They don't have to resonate with everyone, but if one of them does something, then you might want to think about that one. Anyway, what else do you need to know about these wounds? 6th house. Let me just get the book with that because I'm not really one for astrology. Let's see. Okay, almost. Okay. This house of self-improvement and service in day-to-day work. The subject of health is found in this house. Skills, duties, and responsibilities are crafted with earnest in this area of life. Bright side, competent, skill, vibrant, health, valuable work, a positive daily routine, life improvement, responsibility, dedication. But the shadow side is, drudgery, I don't know that word, lack of fulfillment in work, enslavement to routine, ill health, lack of skills. Let me get another card with that. Or not with that one, but what else do you need to know? Let's try it again. What do you need to know about these wounds? Okay. Parasite. Well, that's interesting. I'm looking in the book because I don't know this one. When the only answer to lack of self-efficiency is to cling to another one. Ouch. Okay, so just a second, I need to understand something. The sentence here is, what can't survive alone will seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together. I need to, because I literally bought a new phone, which was not too expensive to make videos. Now I can just use my phone right now to look up Google Translate. Okay. They didn't leave you. They really did not leave you because you were not good enough. Maybe there was something about the relationship or the connection, anything. I mean, this is obviously not about this person, but I feel like I need to mention that this person may need a different kind of lifestyle. They may have a different kind of lifestyle. Maybe they could not catch up with you. Maybe vice versa, you could not catch up with them. I feel like what you need to know about these wounds is that even though you're obviously still hurt and clinging to this person, you did say what you needed to say, and what you said was not something bad. Like, let's just say you really just opened up about how you felt about a certain situation, and they, well, this reminds me of something before, like, for myself, and I had someone come here before that I didn't want to have a relationship with anymore, or not a relationship, like, family, and I told this person that I am not able to have a relationship with them unless this. And they told me from that information that they told them is that, okay, well, I guess then we can't have a relationship anymore. Then we cannot, um, you know, then we cannot go on like this. Then I guess we should move on. I guess this kind of hurt me, and maybe that is kind of the same thing, like you said, what you actually really felt, and then you regretted saying it because from that decision on, you felt like you lost something important to you. And I feel like if something doesn't match up with your way of living, if someone lives differently, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing. I mean, first off, it's both of your decision to see if it actually is able to work out. And if it's not, then there's possibly even someone better out there for you who is able to live the way you live, or is able to see the way, see things the way that you see them. You don't need to force yourself to cling to someone who is obviously not able to, or not, able to fulfill your desires in the way that you need them. You are blaming yourself for what you want because someone rejected you for what you wanted. Is that it? It feels like I hit the nail in some way. Anyway, so let's see. What do you need to know about these wounds? There could actually be someone right now who is admiring you because of your nature. And I'm also wanting to tell you, because you are free doesn't mean literally that you will lead a bad life or that you will have major consequences. I mean, responsibility is one thing, and I do really want to remind anyone that responsibility for yourself is a big thing, but you don't need to do it all on your own. You can ask for help. You can, there are so many resources. I mean, I don't know where you are from or how your situation is, so I obviously can't say that, you know, things will be different, possibly. I mean, things will be different, but I feel like there's also an emphasis on you making that change and letting that change in instead of refusing it and giving into regret because of desire or because of I just feel like this person wouldn't want you to feel bad for feeling the way that you feel. This person would want you to be honest with you. I mean, I do get it, because I have mentioned a lot of times, a lot of harsh things and very honest things to friends before, saying that I did not want to have a connection, that I did not want to be friends with them anymore for different reasons. But there was one time, and before starting with another thing, I need to explain the other thing. And there were many times that these friends actually reacted in a way like, you know, being angry or pissed at that thing. And of course they are, you know, they are allowed to feel that. The thing is, they did not, you know, really respect that I was being honest with them, that I was telling them something that was very important to me. And there was this one time where a friend, who is also now not a friend anymore, who complimented and appreciated my honesty, and that I was able to talk about it so much, and that I opened up about that to her. And that is the first time that I actually got a positive response. So I do have also a few wounds when it comes to this kind of topic, like saying something and feeling like whatever you are saying is not being recognized or not being accepted, or as if you were doing something wrong, and just by you being you. And I feel like you need to know that it's never really you who's the problem. I mean, they can actually be happy that you are not faking or kind of relationship, friendship, anything with you, with that you are not lying to them, because apparently many people just stick to lying because that's easier than being truthful to themselves and to others. And their problems, their issues, and what they are projecting onto you is their problem, are their insecurities. It does not mean that you are literally the person they are making you out to be. That does not mean that you are a horrible friend. It does not mean that you are very irresponsible. It does not mean that you are childish or weird. You are being honest. You are being you. And the name tags that they're putting onto you, that's just a reflection of them, not of you. So anyway. Anything else? Oh my gosh, I speak highly of myself. There we go. Like, before when I was picking this deck to use as well, I was like, I need to use this as what is the weakness point, what is not there yet. So I will actually, like, you know, as if it's the reverse meaning. So instead of blaming yourself and beating yourself up for being the way you are, be very brave and tell yourself that you deserve the best and that you are not someone who is a monster, that you are not someone who is mean to others. You are being honest, and if they are not seeing it the way you do, then, well, I guess that's, yeah, what should you do about it? I mean, if you need to take care of someone, then it's you and not them, with all honesty, unless you are their parent and they are underage. Anyway, but so now let's see what else you need to know about these wounds. One second. What else does group 1 need to know about these wounds? Ah, didn't take that long, 35 minutes or so. And okay, so let's see what these cards have to say. So first we have the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck for Love Your Ego edition. Then we have the Self-Realization Oracle deck with Emotional Growth edition. I love these cards. And then we have the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck with Love Yourself edition. Not your ego, but love yourself. I will highly recommend, I'm not sponsoring this, but I will really highly recommend doing this, with buying these decks. I mean, obviously, these are quality cards, and these are indie developer, but still, and they're not that, they're a little bit expensive, but still they really are worth looking into and buying if you are interested. This was not scripted anyway. So with the with the first card we have, I forgive myself for avoiding people and situations that may make me feel uncomfortable. I choose to believe that each time I give myself permission to change my mind, and commit to a new way of showing up in the world, I allow myself to be moved to where the possibility of deeper comfort exists. Of being yourself. Okay. It's safe to notice that at times when I am feeling different, I may attempt to identify with the opposite of what feels most authentic to me in the moment. When I own my propensity to unconsciously disown and distance myself from my initial desire, you hear that? I may offer myself the compassion and understanding that will allow for the gradual embodiment of what feels most true to me. I don't need to say anything else. And then we have, I forgive myself for restricting my experience by trying to live by the expectations of others. Sorry for getting a little bit passionate here, but this is literally what I've been talking about. I choose to believe that I am expansive in the expression of who I am, and it is safe to experience every aspect of who I can be. I am not even done yet. We still have some other advice cards to go. So this is what else you need to know about your wounds. I do want to know a word that I have read before, but I didn't look it up. Propensity. Sorry for wasting your time. Propensity. Excuse me. Your tendency, pretty much. Your tendency. I mean, I'm fluent, okay, but I'm not perfect in every word. Anyway, so let's get some more information about some advice, what you need to know, last advice and guidance from Spirit to you. Okay. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Where do I put you? I put you, you know what? I just heard self-reflection. Anyway, I'm gonna explain it in a minute or so. Last advice and guidance for group 1. All right, and here we have, it isn't about being right, it's about doing the right thing. What feels right to you? Anyway. Last advice and guidance for group 1. Okay, there we go. And we have 2 cards. First card with this one. First card with love. Love is the foundation of your existence, and you're just as worthy of receiving as you are of giving love and compassion. While love can be a beautiful emotion, it is equally a form of energy that propels, excuse me, propels. Sometimes I just don't remember words. That propels you through life. And last card is soul solitude. Your soul needs attention. There are moments when it's important to get away, not just from the noise of the outside world, but to find a place where your soul can experience peace and quiet, a place for soul solitude. I did hear self-reflection, but anyway, this is a time to pause, a time to reflect. Okay, a time for you. So what this is trying to say is that you have the ability to give and receive what you are most afraid of, because you feel it will bring you sadness, or it will bring you the feeling of not being confident or being able to trust yourself. I feel like you are not able to trust yourself right now, and it is because you feel like you have been rejected for being you. And this is not the case. You have not been rejected for being you. There's something out. You have been, this person has left because what you are looking for is something that they are not able to give you. And also vice versa. What they are looking for is also something that you cannot give to them. They are wanting to let you know, I feel like this also needs to come through, they want you to know that it was never your fault, and that you still are a beautiful and perfect person. Yes, I just said perfect, and I usually don't say that like this. So I really feel like this person really sees the world in you, but this is not something, they cannot pursue you because you two are too different. They want something different and you want something different. And you wanting what you want is not something bad. It is you wanting what you want. It is you being you. It is you being true in who you are. What you did was amazing, and this person is happy that you were truthful and that you were able to not lie to yourself about what you need or want. And they didn't leave you like this because they wanted to hurt you. They were actually trying to leave. I mean, some ways that people do things is not always the best way, but their intention was that they get out of your life as soon as possible because they felt like that they didn't deserve your attention in the first place or something like that. As if like, you know what, I'm gone, now please look for somebody else. You deserve so much better than spending time with someone who's not able to give you what you want. So now, last advice or guidance. Wow, okay. Falls out immediately with a reflection card with the more one does and sees and feels, the more one is able to do, and the more genuine one may be one's appreciation of fundamental things like home and love and understanding, companionship. Amelia Earhart. I think I heard that name before, but I'm not sure. Reflect on ways in which you have opened your heart to seeing, feeling, and experiencing more joy in life. What ways can you open your heart that you haven't yet considered? Number 62, if that is significant. So, group 1, this was a beautiful reading. At least that's how I view it. This is all I have for you. I hope this reading resonated or was helpful in some way. I wish you an amazing day or night, and I hope you'll be back in the future. Hi group 2, welcome to your reading. So let's get started with what wound or wounds do you have, and maybe also find out where have they come from. So one card. What wound or wounds do you have? Discernment. What wound or wounds do you have? Oh my gosh. Okay. Resistance. Okay. Discernment. I need to look in the book for this one, I feel. Let's see. Oh wait. Sometimes I just don't remember some English words, and I need to look them up again. What is this? Okay, yeah, I already got the feeling of like hermit vibes all over when I saw that card. The ability to judge well. Resistance. Okay. What wound or wounds do you have? The Tower. Okay. I feel like this wound is very much within yourself. I feel like you're very, very resistant. I honestly am listening to the song I Hate You, Don't Leave Me by Demi Lovato. And although many people have argued or you know, or not really argued, or really talked about, like, this song sounds a lot like borderline personality disorder and not bipolar disorder. I mean, the two disorders are very similar. I am not going to say anything about it because the only one that I am closely related to is borderline personality disorder. And this is not necessarily me saying like this is what you have. All I'm saying is that the energy of the song the reading does feel similar to that vibe already. So let's just see what will come out of this. So I first off want to say that you have very well, that you are not delusional, you are not only within your fantasies, and your thoughts and perceptions are very accurate, especially about yourself. You know yourself to be quite destructive with yourself. You know yourself to be well, if it comes to wounds, sorry, I had to do something. These are cards and energies that are very much like you can't really explain them. Discernment really reminds me of you understanding and having a very good perception of who you are and what you are able to do, and I do feel like it's mixed with confidence, but it's also mixed with you being sure about what you are and what you can do. And it's not always, you know that you may have some sort of influence or some sort of, how do you say it? What you do or say, or you know how you behave, does not go unnoticed, and you are very responsible for the fact that you know that you are struggling. Whether you really have borderline is really something very specific. If you are even curious whether you have it, I'll just say, if you go to a doctor and ask about it because of this reading, tell them that you don't know me. tell them that it's not for me. But it's more of, I mean, in any case, your decisions should not be based on a tarot reading, honestly. And if that is the case, then I do not have the responsibility, anyway, for how it turns out. Why am I putting it away? I need it. I feel like you are very much aware of what you do not want and what you do want. Mostly of what you do not want. I feel like you're very self-reliant. You focus on yourself, and you do not really want to be bothered by much people, or you don't. Well, people may see it as you do not want to be bothered, but honestly, you don't want to bother other people. Plus, you not wanting to be bothered as well. I feel like there's a resistance in trying to confide in other people, or resistance in trying to do that, because you know of how either aggressive or verbally harsh you can be, or how you affect other people. So let's find out a little bit more. Okay, my back was hurting. For a bit. Anyway, what wound or wounds do you have? By the way, I apologize if you hear like a sound in the background. That's my air conditioner, because when I'm filming this, it's pretty warm outside, and I do not really go well with heat at all. Anyway. I'm so sorry for yawning, but I'm thinking too much and that drains me. I'm trying to connect what I'm picking up on and also what I'm seeing in front of me and what I'm hearing as well. Okay. First house. This is about the self, about you. How did I remember that? Usually I don't remember astrology very well, but I'll look at that for a second. This is the house of the individual self and persona. It indicates how others perceive that self. This comes forward as image and personality. Assertiveness and confidence are qualities of this house. Bright side, strong sense of self-identity. I already told you of the discernment. I really feel like you're very aware of who you are and who you are not. However, self-identity, assertiveness, and confidence, healthy personality, but the shadow side is insecurity, lack of identity, and direction. That's interesting, lack of identity. It's one of this, it's one of the things that happens a lot with people with borderline personality disorder. Anyway, lack of identity and direction, self-absorption, self-loathing, self-effacing, self-denying. The thing is, I feel like there is some kind of balance here, but I do feel like there's still a wound there. There's still a wound, and I feel like it is because of how you have been treated before. I feel like it is not really something that you acted upon that and made sure to not really really be social or really be very outgoing or to not really let other people in anymore. Is the camera right? I don't even know. Okay. I feel like you really want to focus more on yourself right now. But I'm not... There is something here that kind of... Well, I don't know what doesn't make sense. Perchance to dream, 28. I'm reaching out for my phone while I'm actually trying to reach out to a booklet. Number 28. Okay, and we have, if I sleep long enough, when I wake up, the pain will have been gone. Oh, how many people would wish for that to happen? You could just fall asleep and wake up and everything is perfect. Sorry, it's just so normal for people to want that. Okay, sentence, to die, to sleep, excuse me. Okay, perchance to dream, or what is perchance? I'm learning English all the while I'm doing a reading for you. Perchance is maybe. What? Another word for perhaps, maybe, possibly, by some chance, perhaps. Wow, I really have to get used to that. Anyway. Now, oh my gosh, now I'm hearing this song, Why Do I Sabotage by Kelly Clarkson. No, of course not, by BB Rexa. I'm listening to the clean version though, so without fuck it up and all that stuff, like mess it up. Anyway, I need to understand what this wound is, how it is created, and stuff like that. I can't explain without understanding. That's just the way it is with me. Okay. I already apologize if sometimes I take a little time to think about this. I feel like you, okay, the thing is, I don't really see confidence. What I do see is you being very sure of who you are and what you are able to do, and to pros and cons, but mostly the cons. What I see is you seeing almost in every situation, especially if it is maybe something related to social things, or especially when it comes to yourself. I mean, you have the first house here. I feel like this mostly has to do with you really feeling very insecure. I feel like you are very insecure when it comes to yourself. However, I do see that you are very, very intelligent. You are very, very resourceful. You really want to find out the truth about who you are, but you have the tendency to look at things in the worst way possible. Like, you look at things thinking that you can only go downward from this. However, I do see that you find pleasure in finding parts of yourself, but I feel like you only find those things when you are looking up things that may be wrong with you. For example, I can really relate to this. I can really relate to this because I always, since I was younger, wanted to understand myself. No one but me, well, not no one but me, but especially me, can't understand where this is possibly coming from. Not being able to understand yourself, not being able to see yourself where you're coming from, being doubting your own abilities and your own strengths, instead of just focusing on your and just focusing on your weakness and not really seeing the beauty. I mean, you were letting yourself, like, first off, you grew up very fast, but you let yourself grow up very fast. I feel like you took a lot of responsibility for the things. I feel like you really underestimate your own power and your own ability to make this world a better place. I feel like you only see, yes, you have the tendencies to, you may think that you may overreact, or you may think that you are not good with people, and there may be reasons for that. There may be literal psychological kind of issues at hand. However, I am not I don't know you at all, possibly, and I am not a licensed psychologist or anything, so, or therapist or psychiatrist. I am not working in a field. However, I do have a lot of understanding of where this could be coming from, and that it could have, I mean, my point is, what I'm trying to say is that if you already felt like that, I feel like you're trying to look for the conclusions in the things like labels, or something that makes you feel like you can come back to yourself. But what I meant to say with that, I understood what this is talking about, is that I always, as I said before, as a child, I used to look for who I was, and of course we all do, but I was never really able to find it. Until today, I'm still learning, and that is, of course, that happens with everyone, but this is a little bit differently, because of my my way of how I grew up, and my way of, I mean, I've been raised to just look at myself almost as if like, my mom used to say that, like, even to other people, that I was a little the problem child in the family. And it's not really to say like I was an issue or something like that, but I had a lot of things going on that were a little harder to deal with. I do not feel sorry for my parents because they chose to take the role of a parent. And anyway, I'm not gonna go and rant about my parents and my family. Anyway, I tried to figure out who I was because I did not receive the help to find out who I was, and I was trying to find out my emotions. Like, I could never figure out what I was feeling, and nobody else could actually. Like, they kind of, I'm not gonna explain myself in that way, but I was looking so much for conclusions, for a reason for why I am the way I am. And I have found my reasons, and I am very much able to relate to this topic because I am the same. I tend to you gotta be kidding me. Sorry, I got a shaky shake because the camera is a little strange. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, what was I talking about? I used to look up because I got, you know what, there was a time where I really freaked out, or I really went, in my head I was going completely crazy. There was one moment when I had a discussion or some kind of issue with a teacher, who was kind of new to me, but still, and people work differently. People see things differently, and he was not the same as me. He did things differently anyway, not in a bad way, but in a stupid way. Like, listening only to his about his beliefs, about what he should believe in, that other people also should believe in it anyway. Once I kind of went, to me, I went nuts. Other people just saw me as tense and like, you know, kind of to myself. I was always like that. But one day, he talked back to me in a really disrespectful way, how he was my teacher and I should respect him and stuff like that, when I was only trying to get attention to another student who was trying to say something to him. So I was like, sir, you know, thingy wants to talk to you, wants to say something, and he said that I interrupted him during his talking. Like, people may agree with me or people may not agree with me. I told this to many people before, and they are like just dumbfounded by the ego of this person. Anyway, that was the time where I first figured out that I was dissociating. That's the first time I figured out that I had issues and that I had a really, really deep anger inside of me. I did not let it really out. I mean, in my memory, I do not remember really saying much, but I do remember a past friend said to me that I clapped back at him and said some really harsh things, not about him, but that I kind of didn't really talk back softly or gently. I was kind of hard and not caring about what anyone else will think. Anyway, I never had this before because I have always been suppressing my own feelings because I never understood them, and it was always very estranged from me. I felt very disconnected from them. My life is a complex disaster from the beginning. Anyway, that's the first time that I really found out that I had a lot of things going on, and that I was mad at everyone for not taking me seriously. I was mad at my parents. I was mad at my therapist at that time, who did not think that I really needed that SOS kind of a moment. Like, let's just look at what I have. Let's just really, let's just get going with this diagnosis. I want answers. And I threatened, yes, I really threatened my therapist, or not really threatened my therapist, but I threatened everyone around me. I would not go to school anymore until I knew what was going on with me. I was sick of people trying to just put these things to the side and just, you know, kind of put it on the shelf, like, yeah, whatever, it's gonna come another time, it's not that important. That made me, you can maybe imagine that it will not make me really feel appreciated or something, or respected by the people around me. And then they actually took action to start the investigation, to start the diagnostic research. I don't know how to call it, but they started looking at what I had. Of course, well, not of course, because people are complex. Because I am complex, it's still kind of in the working, even after 5 years. Yes, I had to switch over many times. What I'm trying to say here is that I feel like there has been a time that has been really, like, maybe not necessarily for you, but this is a time where I really started looking into myself, and I started trying to look up for explanations, trying to look for reasons why I am the way I am, why I'm feeling this. I even thought at the time that I had DID. I thought that I do have dissociative symptoms, but I do not have DID. Anyway, I really thought I had that. I thought I had this. I thought I had that. I was trying to look into many things. I thought I was bipolar. I thought a lot. And I tried to because there were a lot of symptoms that were really linked to that. Anyway, I don't really do that anymore, because that's, it doesn't really help me in any way, but it does feel healing to see these things, like this is what you feel when you feel struggles, or this is what you may have experienced when you were a child or something. I just saw 24/24 on the timing of this video. But this could also have been like something that you are only trying to look for, what, like, it's almost like you had a bad experience and you're trying to recall what it was or how you behaved in that way, and you're asking your friend or your parent what were the cons of the situation, how you behaved in a negative way, possibly. Like, you're trying to look for the answers that make you look as if you are a problem, that make you look as if you are someone who needs attention in a way that, I mean, yes, we all need attention, but as if you are trying to make yourself out as a horrible person, as if you're trying to make yourself out as someone who is not a human being. And I mean, of course, there are people who do not feel like it. I mean, for God's sake, I don't even feel like a human being. That's because of my dissociation symptoms and all that kind of stuff. Another word for dissociation is spacing out, but it's kind of generalized by now. I don't really like using it because it's kind of, anyway. I feel like that could have been, I mean, I'm not saying that my experience is the same as yours, or vice versa. I'm just saying that I see that you have been looking for all the reasons why you are not okay instead of all the reasons why you were okay, because people have made you feel possibly like you were only a problem and you were not really, like, even if they told you otherwise, like, do you really think that we can always believe people with what they say? Like, if we don't feel that they are telling the truth, if we don't feel like we can trust them, then we are not going to believe a word that they're saying or even care about it. Anyway, I feel like that is going on. I feel like you are so much more intelligent and trustworthy than you think. You feel like you are some kind of bomb about to explode. Possibly. We all have our times. I'm not saying to generalize your feeling. I am just saying that what we are feeling is not that strange, especially after what we have experienced. And because we may not, if you don't remember what you have experienced, then you're going to feel as if you're weird or different, or you're not going to understand yourself. Recently, I had a very healing, but also, not very good time, like for 2 or 3 weeks, where I was faced with a lot of memories and a lot of information about who I used to be as a child, and I figured out I always showed symptoms of possibly AuDHD back then, and I also showed symptoms of autism, and it explains the way that they have been looking at me, and the way that the things that I know right now about these symptoms and about these conditions is that it fits with me perfectly, and I am able to understand myself. I mean, it was not really a nice experience. Like, if, you know, healing is not sunshine and rainbows. I mean, at least not always. And that's why it was kind of difficult to deal with. Anyway, so let's just put this here. Oh, what did I just do with my card? I kind of bruised my card. I don't know. Okay, much better. So what wound or wounds do you have? I feel like the experience with other people, and especially experience with yourself, the way that you cannot possibly trust yourself, the way that you are not able to share yourself with other people because of your fear of doing something that you may regret, or of the fear of that they will turn out to be someone that you do not want to be with, and you regret having wasted your time with someone like that. And it feels lonely. I mean, you may try to kind of ignore it by putting yourself to by letting yourself work a lot. I mean, it's kind of what I'm doing right now in the first place. Oh. 1 second, I got a few messages that I need to answer, and I will stay here. And in a few minutes, my food will arrive. I ordered food. Anyway. Okay, where was I? What do you guys like ordering for takeout or something like that? Or my favorite food since I was 18, since my 18th birthday, is sushi. I can't help it. I love it. How they make it, at least. I mean, I don't know how other people make it. Anyway. Okay. What wounds? Wait, what? Okay, anyway, what do you need to know about these wounds? I did hear the word generous in my mind just now, and now I'm seeing this card with generosity. How can you practice generosity? How can you create win-win situations? Is there something on the card? Yes, there is. Okay. How can you share and expand? How can you give and extend kindness to others? You see yourself in such a, like, you dim your light, not to fit in, but to not even be seen. But what I actually think is that you are not really achieving your goal. In other words, you are not really, I apologize. It's tiring to do readings sometimes. Anyway. Anyway, so universe, messages from the universe, or your recognized higher power. How are you being supported? What is the bigger picture? How can you strengthen your connection with the divine? Then we have relationships. So relationship together with the universe, the relationship with the universe, the way you are connected and related to something or somebody, including yourself. Where's my phone? Oh, here. I'm gonna pause this video very quickly because I don't want you to hear the bell, to hear the ringing, because it's very loud. 1 second. Okay, I got my dinner. Anyway. So, I'm not gonna eat while doing a reading. Come on. Who do you take me for? Anyway, why are my hands so sticky? so warm outside. I don't want to go outside. It's too warm. It's even cooler in my home. My hands are sticky. 1 second. So I feel like you are... I feel like you have achieved so much. You have done so much. I feel... you are not this distant kind of alien that you make yourself out to be. And even if you see yourself right now as that... what is it? Okay. Anyway, even if you see yourself as something familiar like that, I don't really think like you are seen in that way at all. I feel like you are seen as one of the most precious kind of energies that Earth could have. And this may sound strange, or this may sound a little bit, I don't know how to explain it. What I do feel is that you have been so careful for good reasons. You know why you have been careful. The thing is, you didn't really have anyone to support your decision or just support you to let you know that the reason why you had to be careful was not because you were dangerous, but because you were like dangerous to others or anything like that. Because you were maybe possibly endangering yourself to things, relationships, kind of behaviors, ways of thinking, or going in a direction that you would not want to go into. I feel like the reason you are much more than just a thunder, or a raging storm or anything like that, even if it sounds cheesy. You are much more than what you make yourself out to be. You are that special to the universe. I'm not saying that anyone is more or less special or anything like that. What I do feel is that you really underestimate yourself and your power by just, like, there was a positive outcome by you really being careful in what you do and what you let into your life as people or situations. I feel like you've already had the worst come for you, so that's why you were so prepared for anything worse to happen. But the thing that you were actually preparing for was so much better to happen. Although you did not know it, the universe definitely did. Anyway, so what else do you need to know about these wounds? Oh. I am fearless with Aries sign on her forehead. Or their forehead, because I cannot decide a gender just because they look like it. And Mars. See, I'm not that bad at astrology as I thought. So I really underestimate myself with me remembering all these things, and still kind of being able to work with what with that knowledge that I was actually not really anticipating that I would remember that. So what else do you need to know about these wounds? That these wounds have been here from the early beginnings, and these wounds have made you very concerned with... I was almost about to sneeze, so I kind of pinched my nose and then it stopped. Anyway. You were always afraid that you would kind of lose your mind and kind of go nuts, or that you would experience a lot of pain because of the things that you perceive that you have, or that you actually have, like if you literally have like certain conditions. It doesn't necessarily have to be mental, but things that you blame yourself for when you are not the one to blame. What I need to say about this is that the wounds, what you need to know about these wounds is that they have been there, and that how you are perceiving them and how you are looking at them and how you are and what you are relying on is actually the right information, or the things that make you as intelligent as you really are, because you don't really just, or at least not anymore, really look into like just getting stamps on your head or something like that. I feel like you can be a very great what's that called, example for other people. And I just heard even the universe itself, you can be a great example of the universe. I don't really say that a lot anyway. You can be a great example in general for growth and healing. What you need to know is that you've been doing so many things, and you have always seen yourself as someone who is not able to handle it, someone who has had a lot to deal with, which is true. But because you may feel so sensitive about these things, or you may feel so hurt when it comes to certain things, it may feel as if you are weak, but actually it's very strong, because how do I say this? I don't know how to say it. Because there was some kind of reason why you still kept going on. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like, again, sunshine and rainbows, but your desire was just to not give up, even if you felt like all you wanted to do is give up. But I feel like those were like contradicting energies. Like at one point you didn't want this anymore, but then in the other one, there you just did not want to leave in the way that you could only possibly imagine. Anyway, so let's now look into what else you need to know when it comes to about these wounds. Okay, so I'm hearing like you are allowed to have a little bit more fun, to just, and I'm not saying have fun in a way like how other people perceive it, but have fun in a way that you will perceive it. What is fun to you? And oh, I guess you get 2 cards. Lucky you. Okay, so we have 1 card from the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck, Love Your Ego edition, and we have 1 card from the Self-Realization Oracle deck, Emotional Growth edition, and we have the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck, Love Yourself edition. I had this deck, the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck, Love Your Ego edition, for a longer time, but recently these other 2 decks came in and I wanted to use them so badly. Anyway, so if you really like these kind of things, or what is being mentioned, I'm not sponsoring, and I'm also not going to mention it, but the cards, every card deck that I used is going to be in the description box. I really highly recommend you checking this out, because this is really good for healing. Anyway, so first message is, I forgive myself for feeling as though I may somehow mess everything up should I choose to trust myself. I don't need to say anything else. This is a perfect example of what this reading is talking about. Anyway, I choose to believe that every time I allow myself to gently follow my instinct, I strengthen my intuitive muscle and set myself up for future success. Then we have Then we have, I affirm that my highest value lies in the fact that I am uniquely me, and there does not exist a single person who's able to offer what I can with my very existence. When I am ready, I will remember that not everyone is meant for me, and that those people, places, and situations most worthy of my investment will appreciate me for sharing myself authentically. You don't need to adapt yourself or hold yourself back and completely erase yourself from other people's lives. Because it doesn't mean that all those people are the same as the other anyway. For some reason, I'm kind of feeling nauseous. Okay, anyway. So then we have, I forgive myself for creating attachments to the promises they made and could not keep. Oh, this hits a little nerve with me myself anyway. I choose to believe that unkept promises are life's attempts to move me to a place where the possibility of greater growth and love awaits me. And then we have, I forgive myself for misinterpreting life's attempts to redirect me to something better as rejection. I choose to believe that by not creating attachments to a specific outcome, I may be moved to the experience of something even more rewarding that I can currently imagine. And we're not done yet. We're going to look into some more advice, what else you need to know about these wounds or anything else. I apologize that I may have been a little bit, the bell will ring, my doorbell will ring and stuff like that, and that I had to wash my hands. Anyway. I'm actually apologizing to myself because I am annoying myself with this. Purpose. I know what I am here to do. I will explain in a minute what all these cards are trying to say. Last advice and guidance for group 1. Be the best version of yourself and start today. Purple and purple. Okay. Got an insider joke. Okay, so last advice and guidance for group 2. I hope I did not say group 1 with these other 2 cards anyway. You may have been called to group 1 as well. I feel that there may be some similarities here, but that's for you to decide. Or not to decide, but to feel whether that rings true for you. Last advice for group 2. And we have support. People come into your life for many different reasons. Some you learn from and then they move on, while others return often because you need to learn more from those individuals. Others remain beside you throughout your entire life because you were meant to love them. Okay, sorry. So with this, I really feel like first of Spirit really wants you to know whether you believe in Spirit or not. Supportive energy wants you to know that you have been here for a reason and that you have been making everyone around you, especially the universe, proud beyond your imagination. You have been supporting and you have been supporting others so much, and you have been supporting yourself in the best way possible that you can, the best way that you possibly can. I feel like this is almost like a confirmation for you to let yourself kind of go a little bit more, be a little bit more free, and to help yourself a little bit more in a way that you want to be helped. It's not always, it doesn't always need to be so serious, doesn't always need to be too much. You can also take it easier on yourself and allow yourself to just kind of take a day off of these responsibilities, or of these taking or making it so hard for yourself. So I am somehow not able to really say anything with this, so I feel like there may be a message in one of these cards that may be specific or may be significant that you may understand individually. Maybe the message is not the same for everyone. But what I can say is that you have been here for a specific reason, and you have been doing an amazing job, and you are seen as a great example again. So then we have one inspiration card, one card with the inspiration. You must hold your quiet center where you do what only you can do. Yin or Jin, I don't know. I had to kind of read it over. I had to read it again. I didn't really understand what it was saying. So, choose stillness as an active practice of patience. It is okay to wait. You will get where you need to be. So, group 2. Is that all I have for you? That's all I have for you. So I hope this reading resonated or was helpful in some way. I wish you an amazing day or night, and I hope you'll be back in the future. Hi, group 3, welcome to your reading. So let's get started with what wound or wounds do you have, and where they possibly could come from. So what wound or wounds do you have for group 3? Trust. What wound or wounds does group 3 have? Connection. Okay, 1 second. Okay. What wound or wounds do you have? Page of Pentacles. Let's get some more cards to see what this is talking about. To just say that you have wounds when it comes to trust and to a certain connection, that will be a little too easy. Sorry, that's not my way of doing it. Okay, up, 9th house. For every group, we have been getting certain houses. So that's interesting. Let's see the booklet because I don't know what the 9th house is. Corresponds to Sagittarius and Jupiter. This is the house of expansion beyond the routine. The exploration of life's meaning leads to a broadening of perspective. This can occur through travel or studies that stimulate the consciousness. It literally says twice that in the thing. Okay, I know enough. Anyway, the new evolving self resides here. Bright side, expansion, philosophy, travel, study, opportunity, higher perspective, which I find interesting with study here because we have the Page of Pentacles. Then we have the shadow side with boredom, stagnation, fear of change, rigidity, dogma, ignoring opportunity. Okay. Let's get a little bit more. Queen of my world. The thing is, the cards fall out very, very quickly. Not even many shuffling and the cards are immediately there, which I find interesting. I think I said that before. Anyway, number 24. Let's see. I set limits to my world. Inside I am queen and outside is lost. Okay. Sentence is, I am my world and my world is me. I am royalty. Okay. Excuse me for the silence. I'm just reading it. Ninth house. Let's get some more information, what you need to know about these wounds. This wound or these wounds. No matter, I don't know how many you have. What does group 3 need to know about this wound / these wounds? Courage. What makes you invincible, unstoppable, and indomitable? How can you conquer your fears? What do you need to do to cultivate courage? What is the act of bravery needed right now? What else? I'll take this one. And we have safe game, pause to reflect, time to recalibrate, preparation, and backup. So there are some things running, going in my mind right. There are some things in my mind right now that it's a little bit of a mix of I don't understand. It's I need to kind of let it sink in, to process the information being given right now. I feel like this has to do with someone So I feel that there is some kind of behavior, some kind of tendencies to try and ignore what you have been feeling or the things that have happened. I feel honestly that you may not even remember some of the things that are hurting you right now, or not right now, but just in general. Although I do, because the cards fell out so quickly, I do feel like it is close to reaching its goal, which is making you understand what these wounds are. Whether this will be something that you will understand after this reading or not, I don't know. That's going to be different for everyone. Because, you know, I'm just a person who reads cards. I am not a lifesaver. I am wild and free. I feel like what wounds you have, first it depends on your situation. I can't say this for everyone. What I am feeling though is that you have been locking yourself up in some sort of prison that has to do with you letting your imagination run wild. I do have a feeling like it's not necessarily a bad thing. But I feel like you understand already that what has been hurting you is taking place and is being healed at this very, being taken care of at this very moment. Like, I feel like the things that you are experiencing are not something you have been imagining. However, I do feel like you have been experiencing some kind of lack of trust when it comes to yourself and others, about trusting people in general. And this may also have something to do with you I feel like some things may actually have happened in some sort of, well, not necessarily workspace or workplace, but I do feel like it was when you were maybe a little bit younger and you were just trying to learn how to be responsible and how to do these things. And I feel like you have made your own responsibility by, oh, let's put the camera up a little better. You've made you may have the tendency, like, you really, I feel like you want to heal these parts, but I feel like when that is happening, there are some other things like coping mechanisms coming in and kind of rescuing from these things that kind of seem to hold you back or make you feel like you are not really part, or that you are exactly a part of this world. Not exactly that you are actually a part of this world. It may be a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit lighter, for whoever this reading is for. I feel like a lot of things are a little bit covered up with memories that seem to not be fully yours, or in other words, they may have been feigned, or faked. It could be that you are experiencing a whiplash, of memories that are actually yours, and maybe your tactic or someone else's tactic used to be to cover it up with memories that have never really been yours in the first place. Or maybe you don't even remember much of, have a little bit of struggles with how to be responsible for yourself, or how to let other people in without necessarily thinking that it is going to lead to something disastrous. It's a little bit hard to explain because I don't really feel like I can really rely on the cards right now. And I'd rather like to have a card in front of me and not have a full table of cards in front of me so I can take things one by one, but so I think I'm gonna go to one step already that I actually will go to later on, but I feel like this is something that I can't fully really get into my system, or really let it sink in. I feel like there are some bruises when it comes to relationships, and there are some bruises when it comes to relationships as a child, so I feel like you may feel dependent on other people in some kind of way, and it may feel a little bit scary to go out there and ask for help. I feel like the wound that you have may have to do with you Excuse me. I don't really know how to explain. I'm really trying to get my thoughts in check a little bit right now. Yeah, there may be like this tendency to not really cling to other people because I feel that they were maybe. I feel you have like some kind of root that has to do with you not being able to rely on others, on their advice and their security when you were a child. So this could have to do with moving out and in and out of apartments or homes a lot. This could have to do with feeling abandoned and being left out in the cold, either literally or figuratively. This could have to do with you being actually being adopted or something like that. And I feel like what is happening right now is that your inner child is really coming up and taking over your responsibility with difficulty, because I feel like you were taught so long ago that you were supposed to take care of yourself or others instead of taking care of yourself or letting other people take care of you. And this may have left a bruise on the trust on yourself, with yourself and on other people as well. And I feel like the most safe place that you can be at is in your imagination, which you may deny when hearing that, because you're like, I am a very responsible person. I take care of things very much. The thing is that it is not that visible. It is not very. You may feel as if you cannot really rely on yourself because one time you're this and one time you're that. You don't really know where you are going with the information that you are given and what you should trust in, whether people actually had it out for you or whether they actually care for you. I feel like there's a huge confusion with who you have been and who you are right now. And it may be hard to really accept. Well, I myself am someone who has learned to deal with pain by imagining better scenarios and imagining dreams and me being in a specific movie. And it's not like I really wanted to be or want to be in a movie. It's more like as if the story contains about around me and about who I am, and that I am not completely involved when it comes to other people's problems. I feel like you have been robbed so much of the things that you needed. Even if you just had a glimpse of it, you feel like things were taken away, like in a second. And it may not be it's not very easy to just let go of the things that used to save you and used to make you feel safe and all that stuff. What I feel here is that you have lost the connection to your own body, possibly, that you have lost a connection with who you actually are, and you have been thinking so much about what you could be. And it kind of could make you feel stuck with who you actually are and who you want to be and what your expectations are on yourself. The reason why it's so difficult right now for me to say all these things is because this is purely, what I'm saying is purely based on what I'm feeling and not on necessarily the cards. It's like 90% my intuition and not the cards right now, or 99% actually, if I'm being completely honest. Because I feel like, although it says connection, I really feel like there's actually a disconnection from what you are feeling, from what you are experiencing. And when things tend to come up and things tend to make you feel uncomfortable, these what's it called, these shiny sparkly thingies kind of cover it all up, by making it worse than what you anticipated, which you may see as something that is not bad at all at that moment, because it's helping you, it's saving you from feeling abandoned and neglected. I feel like the wound here is that you have given trust to someone who never deserved it. I feel like you were either someone's what's it called, someone's you were someone's child, you were someone's younger, you were someone's responsibility. You didn't have responsibility, but someone had responsibility over you, and I feel like they messed that up and made you it's not as easy to just say like that they said that you are a bad person. It's not just that. It's not them telling you that they don't want you. It's something different. It's in a complex kind of way. This is a complex reading. This is a reading where I am very sure that right now you are experiencing possibly yourself being attached to certain things, people, dolls, toys, something, and it makes you I feel like, yeah, okay, thanks, Spirit. I feel like you are being reminded of what you did not have instead of what you thought you had in your imagination. So let's just say someone calls up your past and says that you had such a beautiful past and stuff like that, and you're like, yeah, that's what I remember, that I've been telling myself, and that's what I know, but somehow I don't feel it. Like, I don't remember my past at all. And I don't remember specific happy feelings. You may not remember specific happy feelings that you had back then. I feel like your past has been covered up with a lot of beautifying kind of lies to not take responsibility for for having, bluntly said, fucked it up, for having fucked up the responsibility, for having fucked up the trust that you had with them. I feel like the connection that you may have with certain other people may feel a little bit distant, or a little distant with, because you can only remember yourself. I feel like there is something very much underlying that needs to be discussed with possibly a specialist, someone who really can help you there. Because all I can do is do this kind of reading. I am not licensed, or I have not studied psychology or psychiatry. I have researched it, but I have not studied it. So, anyway. Excuse me. Negative energy wants to come out. So, anyway. Let's now look into what do you need to know, what you need to know about these wounds or anything like that. I cannot explain why you had this kind of abandonment feelings. What I can tell you is that you have abandonment feelings. You may even, for most of you, you may even feel like this is not your reading, because it doesn't somehow feel familiar with what you have been told before. And that's the thing. What you have been told before is possibly an absolute lie. And I do not want to make other people look bad, but it is an absolute disgusting thing to cover up someone's past, possibly a horrible, traumatic past, with beautiful lies that you don't even remember. The reason why I'm thinking of this is it makes me think of a video that I saw on YouTube. It was from Chicago Med, and there was something about a girl being abducted like years before, and there was something about her actual mother telling her that they used to go to beautiful places and stuff like that, and that they had so much fun together. But the girl was feeling so hopeless because she didn't remember anything of it. She just remembered certain parts of, like, let's say her teddy bear or her mother or something, but she did not remember the things that her mother said. So, and I'm not trying to say that this is literally happening right now, but I feel like someone, including yourself, could have lied to you, and you could have made these lies for yourself in order to be able to survive what you have went through, to be able to live in a world of your own making that is far better than what you are experiencing at that moment. I understand it very well. You know, the interesting thing is that even though the cards are looking really, really encouraging in some kind of way, they feel very beautiful. I am not feeling that vibe. I actually feel a very burdened and confused vibe, as if like energy, as if something is just not quite right with what is being said. However, I do see that there are some aspects that are true about it, and that is you clinging to a different connection of yourself that has never been you. Also, like maybe something that you told yourself about who you were, and you actually don't even feel aligned with what you are saying. So we actually feel aligned when we really know and understand what we are talking about. And if we actually believe ourselves, that is us. But if you feel like it's almost like someone is saying like, but you are so beautiful, and the other person's like, I know that I am. But actually they don't mean that. Actually they are like, yeah, like that, like, actually I should be very beautiful. People see me as beautiful, so I guess I have to be, but they don't feel that way. So it's as if something has been told, some kind of story has been told that is not the real story. And I don't know which story this is or what the story is about. But all I can say is that, yeah, you know, how can I say this? Many people would say like, this is actually really fucked up, and it is fucked up. This is a horrible thing that you have went through, and I'm not saying that because I feel bad for you or something like that. I mean, of course, this is something that you should not have gone through. Still happened, but I feel like maybe you tend to really escape into your kind of imagination instead of facing reality, or you may even lie in bed, think about something, and then you are like kind of waking up 20 minutes later and you're like, or maybe even later, like 2 hours later, and you're like, what happened all this time? Like it felt like only a minute or two. Again, if this this may need some help from a professional. So that's all I say. But now let's get into what else you need to know about these wounds. Need to look in the booklet again. No, not here. Right. Expansion, philosophy, travel, study, opportunity, higher perspective. What do you need to know about these wounds? For everyone who is still here, who feels that this may be right, what you have gone through is more horrifying, more horrible than you imagine. It may feel normal right now, but it is not. And even though I'm a stranger on the internet and you don't need to listen to what I have to say, because that's just the way it is, you don't need to. You will learn and find it quite painful to understand that these things you have done to survive, to... And I may sound very dramatic, but this is just the way it is. This is not a group where I feel like this is easy to explain or to even try and give advice, because I feel like not many people are in this situation are able to just understand it. It's not like you just broke your heart one time because she said that she found another guy. No, it's repetitive kind of things. Some things that are somehow the same as the other, but still different in some way. I don't know how to explain it. The reason why I'm so serious and why I'm so quiet is because this is not funny business. This is not something hilarious. This is something serious. When I'm serious, you will notice that I am not gonna laugh or something like that, or that I'm not gonna... Yeah, it's not that easy to just act as if everything is fine if you know that someone is experiencing or has experienced something like this. So, so I have one card from the the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck, Love Your Ego edition. Then I have one card from the Self-Realization Oracle deck, Emotional Growth edition. And then I have one card from the Self-Forgiveness Oracle deck, Love Yourself edition. All these cards are from the same person, obviously, because they all look alike. And I would highly recommend, if you are into healing or these kind of things, they are very gentle and very nice and very affirmative. I feel like they really are spot on. And if you are interested, I'm not what's that called, sponsoring anything or something like that. I just want you to know, if this is something you're interested in, I will really highly suggest it. Anyway, so first card we have is, I forgive myself for shaming and rejecting the experience of imperfection. I choose to believe that my unique expression invites me to show up in ways that may challenge ideas of what is currently preferable in order to make room for something greater. This to me reminds me of the preferred experience that you wanted to have in the past, covering up your own pain with things that have never happened. My suggestion will be to, instead of forcing yourself to believe something like that, to to cover up the bad experiences with good experiences from the now, here and now, instead of lying to yourself. Try to look for situations, people, loved ones, all that stuff that will offer you that what you should have experienced in the past, and make you rather cry tears of joy instead of queers tears of happiness. Then we have, I challenge myself to recognize when my beliefs may be leading me to encourage other people or situations to change to better to better suit me and my needs. I step into my highest potential when I identify how I may make a change independently of what others may offer, so that I do not assume a dependence on another person or situation to change in exchange for my happiness. So this is pretty much saying, like, don't focus on other people to create the happiness that you deserve. You can, you know, there are better people and better situations, and you don't need another person, like this specific person possibly that you may be thinking about right now. I don't know. You don't need to stay dependent on that one individual, because there may as well be another person, including yourself, that may be able to provide you with that what you are seeking for. Anyway, I forgive myself for not pursuing what I truly desire just because I did not know how to get there. I choose to believe that when I make an effort to decide what I want and commit to fulfilling my desires, the most effortless path will gradually appear. With this one, this is a group where I am also challenged to not really give much advice. The advice that is given right now is that what you are getting. Because I'm not able to give much of my advice, especially if something is very specific, complex, and is not something easily explained or understood by another or by myself. So these are the messages. Now I only have a few other decks left to see if there's anything like last advice for this group. So some last advice for group 3. Cards are falling out really quickly. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And maybe that one thing you lost was meant to be lost. In other words, there's something so much better for you out there, even if you don't really believe or understand that right now. I mean, I get it. If someone says something to me like that to me, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Come on. As if I'm in a mood for something like that. I don't have a nerve for that. Okay. The nerve for that. Anyway, last advice and guidance for group 3. Last, thank you. It is always okay to ask for guidance when the way is unclear. I like how the colors match up with one another. Anyway. What is also being mentioned, what I also feel like I need to say, is that this is not really something that I can just explain to you, because possibly for some of you it could be too much to bear to listen to it. Especially because I feel like you're the kind of person who needs some time alone to kind of think about it, and to also kind of feel like you are alone and not have a talking voice in the background. Anyway, I feel like you will be given this more detailed information when you let your intuition come to you, and when you let go of the things that you know are not true to you, even if it's gonna hurt a little bit. last, I guess so. Okay, we have be proud. It's time to celebrate all that you've achieved, all that you are, and all that you will become. Every once in a while, it's important to stop and acknowledge what you've achieved and to be proud. 2 orangey kind of cards and 2 green cards. Love it. Stand your ground. Standing your ground is an empowering, confidence building action to take from time to time. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. You know you can do it, and you know that by doing so, you will be the victor. So now, one last message, one last advice for group 3. Now we have an inspiration card with low self-esteem is like driving through life with your handbrake on. Maxwell Maltz. Excuse me. Compose a letter to your future self. Who do you think you'll be 10 years from now? You don't need to do that if you don't want that, but that could be something, or just writing a letter to yourself could also be significant. Alright, so group 3, that's all I have for you. I hope this reading resonated or was helpful in some way. This was an interesting reading. It was also a challenging reading. I somehow feel like I missed something, or as if I did not say enough, although I don't know, like it kind of feels like I'm doing this reading in slow motion. What I can say here is that I am very well, I don't want to, throw pity at you, but I am sorry for whatever it is. You may not want to hear it right now, and that's okay. However, I do want to say that you are an amazing and powerful person, and that your unique way of exploring your imagination and your perceived reality, just because other people do not agree or do not see it the way that you do, doesn't mean that you need to change yourself for other people, and doesn't mean that you are worthless or not loved by other people. I feel like you've gone through some really tough things right at the get-go, and this is not something that you can easily just get over and forget. And I feel like you know that. I feel like you know what you have to do for yourself. Excuse me for yawning, but it's been a day. Anyway, I wish you an amazing day or night, and I hope you'll be back in the future.